Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Libra, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, the information regarding that can be found in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Libra, I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm not sure if I'll make it, but with your help, I may have a shot. So I would love it if you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And to those of you who have, thank you. So Libra, this reading, I recorded this reading already once. I recorded all of the air sign readings only to discover that there was no sound on all of them. And usually I check the readings after I record them, but you know, I just wanted to plow through. So sometimes when you're trying to go too fast, you end up going slower, right? So that's an important lesson that I learned, and it might have something to do with your reading today. Today's reading is all about overcoming blockages. So we're going to start by using the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit for the Oracle card and the overall energy, and the Tarot of the Abyss for your tarot reading today. So Libra, let's see what we have for you. Oh wow, okay, I don't think I've ever gotten this card before. You got Camel. So interesting too, because there's a whole guidebook that comes with this deck, but I didn't read it because I don't, you know, I read intuitively. But I believe the open triangle represents fire energy. It's like a combination, perhaps, of earth and fire. Obviously, it's interesting because camels are usually found in very hot places. Though this scene is clearly at night, the crescent moon. So there could be something about moon phases that's really significant to you right now, Libra. The camel, to me, camel's such a weird animal. I have a couple of friends that have either visited North Africa / the Middle East and have had very specific dealings with camels. The number one comment that was made about a camel was that they smell, right? And I don't know that this has anything to do with your reading, but it's almost like Spirit is saying something smells fishy. Obviously not the camel, but there's something suspect, as a funny way for Spirit to give me that message, but it is what it is. There's something suspect here, even the way this camel is kind of looking at the viewer. It's kind of side-eyeing. Oh, what's going on over there? Now, Spirit is showing me a very specific video that someone took while they were staying in Paris or something. I'm sure some of you have seen it if you go down Instagram rabbit holes like I do. But it was like somebody taking footage of this couple just fighting. It was like definitely a lover's quarrel in like the penthouse of a building, and everybody on the street just kind of watching and gazing. And you know, it's like a soap opera. If you start fighting in public like that, then all bets are off. Everybody's going to be staring at you, right? I think at one point they even clapped for the lady. I'm not sure. But there was a little bit of like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? There could be some gossip happening in your life right now, or rumors being spread, right? The kind of gossip. And Spirit is asking me to ask you, what is your role in that scenario? You may not have a role. You might be not the source of the gossip, although you could be the source of the gossip. You may be the topic of the gossip. Maybe you're up leveling at this time, and Man, people love to gossip about others that are doing well in their lives. Isn't that true? Instead of saying, man, I'm so proud of you, congratulations. Need a little bit more of that in the world. But camels also, you know, they carry heavy loads on their backs. They have a lot of resources of water that they carry within their bodies, and they're able to sustain themselves for days at a time, I believe. I don't know much about camels, but just kind of channeling what Spirit wants to bring to me. It's interesting that the moon is the only thing that's in color, so there could be a relevance to a blue moon. So I would ask you to check out the next time the blue moon is. There's going to be a blue moon in I don't know why I wanted to say in our orbit. Yes, the moon is in our orbit, but I wouldn't have usually said anything like that. Something in your orbit. I'm trying to ask Spirit what that's about. Somebody in your orbit is gossiping about you. I'm trying to figure out whether it's harmless gossip, although gossip is very, very low vibration. We shall see. 4 cards for the base spread, 4 cards for a clarifier. And I'm going to look at the bottom of the deck to see what your blockage is. Well, okay. 7 cards, 8 cards. Oh, all right. Bottom of the deck, Awakening. That's the Judgment card, number 20. This is a pretty intense depiction of this card too. Typically in the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, the Awakening card is represented by the Archangel blowing the horn. And, you know, the dead are rising up out of their graves. It's kind of like a resurrection energy, which seems to be like this could be what's going on right now, that there's something perhaps you are considering resurrecting, but this came in your blockage position. Underneath that, the Chariot in reverse. Chariot card talks about a mastery over the self and movement forward. Can also reference, sometimes chariots literally reference cars, traveling, international travel. I don't read any of that today, but I felt like I needed to mention it. Most importantly, the Chariot card is in reverse, so it's like there's no movement forward, there's stagnation, and only stagnation, with some kind of judgment call that you have to make at this time. You are considering bringing back something from the dead. And perhaps that is what is the talk of the town in your immediate orbit. You know, maybe I see somebody like considering going back to an old ex, an old job. I mean, Spirit wants me to say, like, think about the reason why it didn't work in the first place. It's always your choice. Always, always, always. This card came up in the upright. Even though it's a blockage, it's still your choice. And there are no mistakes, right? There's just, you know, learning and experience. In the past position, you got the 7 of Swords. So right off the bat, we're starting with air energy. The swords represents the air suit. All about the cerebral, right? So 7 of Swords, when we see this card, you see this character kind of lurking in the shadows. There's so many scenarios that this could depict, but I always see it as somebody who is kind of backstage, waiting for their moment to arrive onto the scene. Sometimes the Seven of Swords can talk about taking the advantage over an opponent, taking, thank you, Spirit, 5 swords from the opposing army, keeping them for yourself. Sometimes the Seven of Swords can talk about, you know, sneaky energy. When it talks about the self, it can talk about procrastination. It's clarified by the 8 of Wands card of fast action and fast communication. It's strange because suddenly I see, this is the 8 of Wands, this is the Chariot card. We can see it's like the same bird, right? It's like a Canadian goose, I think. And so you might be Canadian. You might be traveling south for the winter. If you live in the northern hemisphere, the 8 of Wands is, especially in this card, there's a very specific flight formation that these geese are taking. There's something that is in your past that was very directed, very streamlined, right? It was a very streamlined methodology. There was a lot of thought that went into it and a lot of precision, a lot of execution of getting to an end goal. It was very quick moving. It's almost like I didn't have time to think about it, really. Like, I took what I could and then I left. Interesting. It's like I took what I could and then I just jetted out of there. Take that as it resonates, that right? It's like the camel, like they fill up with water and then they have reserves for, you know, a week, weeks. It's like you took everything you could and you left. I don't know if this is you having to suddenly move out of a living situation to quickly get out of a relationship because of, I see some of the cards here. We'll get to it in a second. I want to pull a clarifier on this. What was it? I had to get out and leave. Oh my God. 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups. This is the card of walking away. Thank you, Spirit. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll continue to say it. Like if you read tarot or you just talk to Spirit on the regular and then you get a synchronicity or a sign that affirms what you think that you're receiving, it's just like a warm hug. It's just like there was something here. 8 of Cups, walking away from 8 full cups. She's even pouring out what was in that cup. Like, no more. I'm not going to have any more of whatever toxic situation was happening here. And spoiler alert, you did get the Tower. Completely knowing what you're doing, too. Even though you may not have had a lot of time, you knew what you were doing was the right move. Although now you could be like second guessing yourself, but in the moment you knew that you had to walk away from something. Even if it meant trekking 20 days and 20 nights through the desert. And I just heard the line from the Matrix. Thank you, Spirit. Welcome to the desert of the real. Whoa, there's a lot happening. There's a lot of energy right now. It's very nice. Because even my ears are starting to do weird things. Like, they're starting to mute. And I feel like your spirit guides are, I don't know if, yeah, I think your spirit guides are here. My spirit guides are here, but I think yours have come in too. Welcome to the desert of the real. You know, when does Morpheus say that in The Matrix? He says it after, I'm assuming all of you have seen The Matrix. If you have not, come on already, you know, right? So he says that line to Neo after Neo says, is this real? And then Morpheus says, what is real? How do you define real? Right? Welcome to the desert of the real. There's something to that. You may see that quote. You may see a meme with that. Somebody may mention the Matrix to you in the next couple of days. Take it as it resonates. But what did that story talk about? He left one world knowing he could never return. Well, actually, he didn't know. He took the red pill or whatever. He asked if he could, and Morpheus said, if you really could go back to the way things used to be when you had the veil over your eyes, would you want to go back? Libra, I think this blockage has to do with either like a romantic relationship or a very, very high level friendship, or somebody just either like betrayed you or just disappointed you, or just something where you, or you know, could be a job situation too, but just something where you're like, enough is enough. I gotta get out of here. And maybe you're second guessing because, you know, as an air sign, you kind of like to weigh your options, especially as a Libra. You like the opportunity to look at the pros and cons, to make a fair assessment. Maybe you just didn't have time in the past, and whatever this was, you just had to get the F out. In the present energy, you got the Four of Wands in the reverse. This is a card of stable foundation, celebration. They call this the 1111 card. It's very divinely guided as a major arcana card. I'm sorry, why did I say that? As a minor arcana card. Interesting. So Spirit, so there are major arcana, which are the beginning cards of the tarot, and the minor arcana, which end the tarot. I feel as though Spirit wanted me to say major arcana because just because it's a minor arcana card, it has a major arcana kind of feel. That Spirit is very, very involved in helping you to, 10 of Pentacles, rebuild your stability. 10 of Pentacles is all about having all of the resources, opportunities, good health, your family and friends around you, right? Look at that family right there. Staircasing. What else is happening in this card? There's that little house again. Growth, pentacles coming out of trees. Rooted in something very stable, very foundational, very grounded, very real. Spirit is, this is clarifying this card. So Spirit is really saying, take our hand, let us help you, let us guide you to back to a path of stability. I'm going to pull a clarifier on it. 2 came out. Death card in reversed, Hanged One in reversed. What did I tell you? I said major arcana and 2 just flipped out for you. 2 major arcana cards. These are really heavy ones too. There's certain major arcana cards that are heavier than others, and these are pretty heavy. This card is actually in the upright. You got them both in reverse, but I've turned them over just to show you. The Hanged One, or the Hanged Man, talks about somebody who makes a kind of sacrifice to get a perspective on things. They like extract themselves out of a situation so they can see the full picture. The Death card, Scorpio energy. This is Virgo, this is Scorpio. Energies. Death card talks about a death and a rebirth. The proverbial phoenix rising from the ashes, that we can rejuvenate, reinvent ourselves, begin again. You got both these cards in reverse to clarify the Four of Wands. This is what you're seeking. It's almost like when somebody moves to, I just heard Chicago. I don't know. That may resonate for one person. It's like when somebody moves to a new town. Nobody knows them. They can absolutely reinvent themselves. And I think that's a lot of the reason why people move. Yes, they want to change their scenery. Yes, it may have to do with a job. But there's some kind of allure sometimes, if you're brave enough, to go into a new town and just explore another side of yourself and reinvent yourself. So I feel like that's a little bit of what you're trying to do at this time, having had to walk away perhaps from something that you closely identified with. Like if it was a relationship and, you know, maybe you thought this one was for keeps, and so much of your recent identity was wrapped up in that person, and that person is no longer there, and then you have to redefine who you are. That feels very dark night of the soul. It feels like very hermit energy. So you could be on the brink of a dark night of the soul, a spiritual awakening, or having just had it, but we have several of them in our lifetime, but I don't feel like you're in that space at the moment. I feel as though you're just, I just heard trying to make ends meet, but not in, could be in a financial way, but that wasn't really what Spirit was getting at. It was like just trying to, okay, instead of saying make ends meet, it's more like I'm just trying to get through day to day. That's closer. And I saw 2220 on my timer there. So 222 might be relevant to you. In the future energy, this is great. I mean, this is hard. 3 of Swords in the reverse. 3 of Swords is one of the toughest cards in the tarot. Talks about heartbreak, loss, disappointment. The letters are coming off of the page and turning into crows, kind of entering into the crown chakra. You know, it's so much to process, this loss that you have experienced, but you got this card in the reverse. So normally I would say you haven't moved on. I don't know why I said normally I would say. I still agree with that. Because, not to laugh about it, I'm laughing at my own stupidity, just excuse me. You got the Lovers clarifying that. It doesn't have to be about a love relationship, like I said. Could be a very high level friendship, some high level commitment. The Lovers card here is represented by very barren trees, getting down to the roots of everything. But this is clarifying the heartbreak card. So perhaps everything's so intertwined with that person from the past, and you're just trying to find your way to stretch out of it, you know. It's reminding me of my money plant that was all kind of braided together. It's kind of a style. If you go to the grocery store and they're selling money plants, they braid they braid the stalks. I'm sure it's a way to fortify it, to make it stronger, but when I brought my second money plant home, I didn't want it to be braided. I felt like it was constricted, so I just slowly unbraided it, right? And I just feel like that's the energy of the Lovers. You're just like trying to cut cords and untangle yourself energetically, perhaps physically, but definitely Energetically. Clarifying that is the Knight of Wands in the reverse. And this could have been, it's a divine masculine energy, but doesn't have to be a man. Gender is not relevant here. It's a person who played you. Right? It's almost like here, and you know, maybe there was a third party. Right? It doesn't have to be somebody cheated. It could be like their parents didn't like the connection, or their friends were, you know, gossiping, right? Side-eyeing everything. Oh, what's going on with Libra and whomever, right? But whatever this energy is, right? It's in the reverse now. So trying to get away from energies like that, right? Because we don't want to stay in this energy too long, because our vibration is powerful, and if you remain in an energy of sadness, and you don't do everything in your power, as far as your power will extend you, to lift out of that energy, you will only attract more of it to you, right? Like attracts like. Opposites also attract. Why do people say like attracts like? Where does that come from? Right now, Spirit is saying raise your vibration, right? This is because this is the future energy. You have the strength to keep what's in the past. But that Judgment card came out as your blockage, so just remember, it's your choice. You want to go back to something, it's absolutely your choice. I'm going to ask Spirit. Well, Spirit's advice is coming up, but I want to ask Spirit in this moment, what happens if you go back to the old scenario, the old situation? The Magician, it will be because you manifested it. Okay. I just heard something harsh that I don't know if Spirit meant it to be that harsh, or just, you know, that was the context that they gave me. But if you go back to an old situation, it's almost like Spirit saying you absolutely have a choice. You go back to that situation, it's because you want to go back. It's not because we are pushing for that. You are the Magician in that scenario, manifesting it. Manifesting it. You have to be careful, right? It's just kind of what I was talking about, like whatever vibration you're putting out there, that's what you're attracting, right? Just like this, whatever, see how this mirrors this, the tree. It's interesting, they're showing me a video that I saw, so random. This like logger was talking about how trees are logged and how you can tell how a tree has lived its life based on how many of its branches were cut and when they were cut, and you know, just a random video. But it's almost like I see this swirl today as part of that tree, and it's almost like there could have been this great beautiful branch jutting out. It's like almost like this was cut. There's something really important there. Like Spirit is saying, don't cut yourself off. Don't cut off your nose to spite your face. Something like that. If you go back to the past, it's a deliberate move. It's deliberate on your part. Maybe by the next blue moon, this situation will present itself, and then you'll have a choice. In the advice from Spirit, King of Pentacles in the reverse, in the Tower. The Tower talks about great shock and awe, surprise from Spirit. And I'm going to tell you right now, oh man, I just felt a really sharp pain in my back. I threw out my back in some way the other day, and that pain just came shooting up my back just now. And I'm just sitting here. So there's something to that, right? It's almost like you're gonna find yourself in a little bit of a lack mentality, and Spirit won't have any choice but to come in and intervene. And I always say, like, you don't, in a way, it's better to have made the choice for yourself, right? Whatever that choice is all, this reading's all about choices. The Lover's card is also about choice. Making a decision for yourself. But when the Tower energy, right, and this is tarot reading, it's just like what you have to hear today. Tomorrow I pull cards, it's a different reading. But you're watching this for a reason. So if you know that Spirit is going to kick you in the behind due to a decision that you make because it's not for your best and highest good, I'm just telling you right now, right? Like, you had a choice, right? Let's ask for a clarifier. 5 of Wands in the reverse. 5 of Wands in the upright. This is all about chaos and conflict, as the birds are chirping outside my window at this time of day. All about chaos and conflict in the mind, and not being able to move beyond it, right? Whenever the cards are in reverse, it's like wherever they fall in the lineup, right? This is a 5. We want to get to the 6 of Wands. This is chaos and conflict. The 6 of Wands represents victory, right? So we have to have this card in the upright so we can just like work through it, move past it. But when the card is in reverse, it's like you're still mulling things over. You're still having that internal battle. This might be a super difficult situation, but just Spirit is asking you to remember what it is that you packed all your bags to leave. You packed them all up. It was so much effort. You didn't have a choice. You just had to get out of there. You took what you could and you left, right? And yes, it could have left you a little despondent, a little in lack mentality, where you're looking to create your abundance again. I get it. I really, really do. I really do. Like, I feel this energy. Like a lot of, I have Libra in my North Node. When you have something in your North, whatever's in your North Node, that's your lesson, right? I'm surrounded by Libras in my life. I'm surrounded by them because I'm here to learn from Libras, right? So like, this message resonates. So again, you have free will. You can do what you want, but expect the unexpected in the future if you return to a past situation that did not serve you. We want Libras to be successful and abundant, not held back by the past. That's my 2 cents. That was not from Spirit. So that's your reading, Libra. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification if you'd like to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Libra.